Top of the day to you. I am Prophet Dr. Sam Adebayo, the convener of Purposeful Living Ministry. On this series of leadership today, I'll be speaking on capacity or developing your capacity. So, in this series, we'll be looking at features of leadership, capacity, influence, inspiration, passion, vision, conviction, and purpose. But quickly, I want to define leadership. And leadership is the one who knows the way, who goes the way, and who shows the way. Number two, leadership is leading a cause. Leadership is not the title you wear. There is no entitlement in title. Stop looking for title. Leadership is a cause. Pursuing a cause. Number three, what is leadership? Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, motivated by passion, generated by vision, produced by conviction, ignited by a purpose. So, how do you develop your capacity as a leader? This is a very serious question because leadership is not availability. You don't just, put somebody as a governor, as a local government chairman, or as a president of a nation, or to become the leader of a church or ministry, who does not have the capacity. Who does not have the capacity. What is capacity? To go on from there. Capacity is a competence. Capacity is a skill. Know-how. What is capacity? Capacity is the ability to hold, receive, or absorb. Capacity is the maximum that can be produced on a machine or in a facility or group. What is capacity? Capacity is the maximum amount that can be held. We have some building now that have the capacity, to gather 1,000 people, 500 people, capacity. Our phone storage have capacity. Some phones have, 64 gig. We have 128 gig storage. We have 256 gig storage. We have 1 terabyte storage. So capacity is the maximum you can contain. To contain beyond your capacity, you must enlarge your capacity. You must develop capacity. If you put a man who does not know about leadership or how to run the administration or management of a nation as a president, that nation is doomed to destruction. And we see many nations in Africa are experiencing that now. Capacity is the ability to perform a task. Capacity is a mental ability, the power to learn. A faculty, the potential for growth and development. Capacity is a role, the position in which one functions. Psalm 78 and verse 72 said, and he find David, who lead them by the skillfulness of his hand, capacity, and by the integrity of his heart, character. So you must develop your capacity if truly you want to lead, there are several areas of leadership. So you must discover your own so that you will be able to know the area of your capacity. And to discover the area of your leadership, you must discover purpose. Purpose is the original intent for the creation of something. When purpose is discovered, leadership is born. Your purpose is a pointer to the area of specialization that you have been called or raised to lead. A leader without purpose is a danger going somewhere to happen. So the first thing you need to know is to find your purpose. There is a story of a widow, wife of the late prophet, who came to Elisha in the book of 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7, it said, the wife of the sons of prophet cried to Elisha, said, your servant, my husband, is dead. And as you know that he revered the Lord, but now his creditor is coming to take my 2 sons as his slave. Elisha replied to her, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? What do you have is what you can give. Now, that is your capacity. Your servant had nothing there at all, she said, except a small jar of olive oil. Elisha said, go around, ask all your neighbor for empty jar. That empty jar are increase of capacity. What the amount you can contain. Do not ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into the jar, and each is filled. Put it to one side. She left him and shut the door and behind her and her son. They brought the jar to her, and she kept pouring. Verse 6. When all the jars were full, she said to her son, bring me another one. But he replied, there is not a jar. Then oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, go and sell the oil and pay your debt. You and your son can live on what is left. That is increasing your capacity, enlarging your capacity. What the woman had before is not enough for the next level, so she has to borrow, pour inside. Some of us need to go and borrow knowledge now. You need to learn certain things so that you can be able to increase your capacity. If you need to go back to school, go back to school. If you need to have a new mentor, have a mentor who can pour what took him 40 years to acquire in you in 4 years. That is how to increase capacity. You know, oh, I want to become a teacher. You need to go to teaching school. I want to become a neurosurgeon. You need to go to medical school. I want to become a public speaker. You need to study mass communication, you know, or better still, you can go to communication school, Nigeria Institute of Journalism. You can go there to go and learn the strategy of public speaking there. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ, you will not fail. In the name of Jesus. The Lord will give Solomon largeness of heart. We continue to enlarge and increase your capacity. You will not diminish. You will continue to increase in the mighty name of Jesus. Wherever others are failing, you will excel in the name of Jesus Christ. In the area of your leadership, you will work strong in